Hello everyone. Can you believe it? Let's get some picture going. And that's not picture, here is picture. How's everyone doing? Thanks for tuning into the live stream. And I'm working overnights right now and I'm drinking espresso, and as you can see here, this is a Christmas cup because that's what it feels like today. Sound Devices unexpectedly and very timely announces the new 833 recorder. So this live stream, I'm going to talk a little bit about the overview. I probably know just as much as you guys. I just found out, but we're going to go over the overview of the unit, talk about some of the technical specifications, and also some of the differences between the 633 and this new ecosystem, which Paul Isaacs called this new, when the Scorpio was announced, this ecosystem of sorts of these new generations of professional production sound recorders. So I want to say welcome to the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be sure to spend some time on the chat to answer questions so you guys have the opportunity to also give your input and we can make it more of a group discussion. So let's get right to it. So we're going to move here to the browser. So let's talk a little bit about the overview of this machine. This is a 6 mic line input machine that you can do mic or line level, all of which have mic preamps, phantom power, and limiters. So versus a 633 where you just had it on the first 3 channels and then it was line in 4 through 6, now you have it on all 6 channels. And this was kind of confusing at first, but this 8 channels and 6 buses, 12 tracks. So I was like, well, where's the additional 2 channels coming from? And as you can see here on the image, the return is a unbalanced line level 2 channel input, which will give you, which is also recordable. So we'll talk a little bit about that some more. Ultra accurate time code, 256 gigabyte internal SSD drive, also a new feature with this versus the 6 series recorders, but is found in the Scorpio. And what's interesting is I was reading in some of the literature before we launched this live stream, and it said that this drive is actually interchangeable. So I've heard a lot of talk, well, you can't service the Scorpio drive. Basically what Sound Devices says is that don't do it on your own, but we will have the ability to do that ourselves. So it is an upgradable drive. USB A and C. The USB 3.0 A port also allows you to bus power a USB distro, so you can run multiple devices on it with power. And also the USB-C port does allow you to do file transfer. Now you can't record to it simultaneously, but you've got an internal drive and 2 SD slots for that, so it's not really necessary. Coming right out of the gate, also Dugan auto mixing for up to 8 channels. So you have the left and right bus. And let me go back to the screen here just to say hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream, by the way, if you're just tuning in. Just like yourself, Sound Devices, I just heard, launches this brand new 833 recorder, and we just did the overview of the input, output, basic features. And then we're going to move into some of the specifications next. But I wanted to say right out of the gate, congratulations, Sound Devices, for launching this, and also for those of us who are working in production sound as professionals who really appreciate a device like this. And what an amazing year they've had with the launch of the Scorpio earlier. I believe it was in March or April, May, I can't even know what month. Then last week, the MixPre 2, now this new 833. So, and speaking of the bus architecture of this unit, the new bus routing in this that we saw in the Scorpio is also included in the 833, allows just for unlimited routing possibilities. And especially since Dan Dugan Auto Mix, which is integrated into their 6 series recorders, and now, of course, the Scorpio, now the 833 has 2 independent Dugan mix groups on the left and right bus. But since it's using a bus routing architecture rather than the simple post or pre-fade output architecture of the 6 series recorders. Basically that means is you can take these bus outputs and assign them to the left or right mix output and therefore have Dugan mix groups. So more routing capability. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we move on. So I want to go get into some of the technical features next. And so let's go right to that here on the site. All right. So specifications. So as you guys know, it has 6 mic, phantom power, and line inputs, all with adjustable limiters, plus 2 additional inputs on that are unbalanced line inputs on the return input, which is also recordable for the 8 inputs. You also have the FPGA processors, which means that this thing is expandable. There's a lot they can do with it versus the fixed ASIC, I think I'm saying that, design of the previous generation recorders. And then we have AES in, looks like AES3 or AES42 on input 1. So you do have that available. Plus, and this is huge, and I'm going to go back to the screen for this for a moment. You have COM returns on this, which now means you can use, and I'm so excited about this, I'm actually going to go back to the picture. So you've got COM returns, and you also have the TA5, oh, excuse me, my alarm's going off. You also have the TA5 headphone output, which includes the slate mic input for the 15-volt powered slate mic. So that means now you have crew communications. Now I own the 688, I own the 633, I'm using the 688 currently on my cart. And then I have the 633 for smaller type work and or bag drops, insert work, things that are smaller where I can't fit the big cart. But the thing with the 633 is that you couldn't have the COM return. So you couldn't talk to the boom op and or the crew, and they couldn't talk back to you unless you used one of the input channels of the 633. So now this new recorder is now expandable and could work very much like a cart recorder. So let's go back here to the screen here and continue on the specs as I learn to balance all of these screen capture things. All right, there we go. So if you're just joining the live stream, I want to say thank you for tuning in. We're talking about the new Sound Devices 833 mixer recorder and going through some of the specifications here. High pass filters, this is a big one. 10 hertz to 320 hertz. So the 6 series recorder, as we know, was fixed to an 80 hertz high pass filter or roll off, where I've had posts before say, hey, is there any way, you know, the 80 can be a bit aggressive, I think, especially for narrative type stuff. So it's nice to have that be a little lower as well. Adjustable limiters. You can adjust the threshold, attack, release time, and also select the ratio for more adjustability. Input delays, outputs, and I skipped over maximum gain here. So we should talk about that. Trim stage 76 dB, line input 50 dB. For those of you who want to get real technical with that, I encourage you to read through all of this. I just want to kind of talk a little bit about the overview and some of the more important things. It does have AES out, 2 AES3 out for a total of 4 digital out AES. And let's go into the recording here for a moment. This is important. So the recording, as you can see, is a 32-bit converter with 120 dB dynamic range. So what that means is that this means something very clear to me. So with the announcement of the MixPre 2 just last week, with the triple AD converter design, gives you this 142 dB of dynamic range, And then there's this talk of you can set your trims wherever you want and it doesn't affect the fidelity. But in this production recorder here, as you can see, it's a 32-bit converter, but 120 dB dynamic range, which does not mean that it's any less than that. But what it does mean, especially with the announcement of this and Scorpio, is that the MixPre 2 is very much targeted towards the musician, the sound designer, and the production mixer who maybe wants a more affordable solution. But as you're going to discover as we talk about this, that the input, output, and routing capabilities of this is much more designed for a professional production workflow. So going right back here to the browser and continuing on some of the important stuff here. Automatic mixing, Dan Dugan on the left and right bus. Also USB-C and A. So USB-C is for file transfer. Super helpful because oftentimes on production sets and the shows I'm working on, they want to drive. They want you to keep a on-set backup. So to be able to just plug in your USB-C and back it up is a big bonus, so you don't have to take out the cards and put it on your laptop and transfer it over and all that stuff. And then USB-A, notice how it says USB hub supported external multiple devices, which is huge. So that means you can have a keyboard and your the Android app that they currently have for this, the remote app, I believe they call it, which I know they're developing and really getting things working for everything. Timecode and sync. You have the same professional timecode that you see on all the sound devices recorders in the professional lineup. What's worth mentioning about this timecode is it does have this auto calibration mode, and on the Betso TCX2s has this where it can actually read the accuracy of the temperature controlled oscillated crystal, if I'm even saying that correct. But what it does is it can determine how much drift is in it and create more accurate timecode sync by this reading of it of sorts, which is a horrible technical explanation, but something I wanted to bring up. So moving right along, just getting through here some of the technical specs, and then we will move on to questions, comments, and some of my feedback on this after the initial launch here, which I'm extremely excited about. Remote control. You can use the Icon controllers that are compatible with the Scorpio, plus a list of other controllers that you can find on their site. You have the same LCD technology and power technology found in the Scorpio using a TA4 connector. Also, I wanted to mention to you guys that the TA4, the reason behind the TA4, from what I understand, is its compatibility with smart batteries. Sound Devices also has their own lineup or brand of that I saw on the website, and it can power the Sony L-mount batteries that are found in the rear of the unit. Dimensions. It's a little bit thinner than the 633, a little longer, but a little bit thinner, which I think is going to be really nice in the back to kind of help things tight. And weight without batteries, 2.75 pounds. So a very lightweight, portable mixer recorder that I am pretty blown away with. So I'm going to take a moment to go over to you guys, see if we have any comments or questions. Thanks for joining in. Just like yourself, I am like just now going, wow, look at this announcement. So here, let's go here to the, all right, good. All right, hello, Zacho. Welcome to the live stream. And thank you everyone for tuning in. So, and we're talking about the Sound Devices 833. So I just started my new series that I'm mixing right now, BET's American Soul Season 2, and I'm working overnight. So I got up this afternoon and I see this email, from Sound Devices 833, and I'm like, holy shit. Because I'm so glad to see this. Because I think this really shows, and not that it never was in question, but that Sound Devices is absolutely committed to the professional lineup of their mixers, recorders. There's so much hype around their new direction with the Mix Pre 2 recorders and broadening their audience. And the fact that they launched the Scorpio and came back less than, I don't know, has it been 3-4 months, guys, and launched this 833 mixer recorder with this sort of functionality is phenomenal. So let's talk a little bit about what's different between the 833 and 633. So those of you who own or have operated 6 series recorders, I'm sure can digest this very quickly and see some of the differences and how this would be a benefit. One of the things about the 6 series recorders that you guys should know that makes this different is the fact that the inputs, excuse me here. That's actually my alarm to get up, if you can believe it, at 3:30 in the afternoon after working an overnight. So one of the main differences is having the mic and or line inputs on the front end, but more importantly for production sound workflows is that you also have the analog limiters on the front end of all 6 of these channels. So the 633 has the 3 mic line with the limiter, and then the 4 through 6 is line level only, and it doesn't have the same type or limiting capability. Same thing on the 688 is once you get past 1 through 6, when you go to 7 through 12, you got to be really mindful, especially about your input staging and where it is things are sitting, to be sure that you don't overload those channels, which is really just good housekeeping and production sound workflow. That's the first thing I'm going to mention right off the bat. The second thing is the bus routing architecture, meaning the ability to actually group routing into bus or submix workflows means that your routing possibilities for sending and or receiving signal on set have tripled. Meaning that I consider myself, I used to work in large format consoles in music in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I love signal flow. I love being able to route things anywhere to anything and think about all of the amazing things you can do in signal flow. And especially useful on set when you have directors and or talent that need to talk to each other. Someone needs to hear this person, that person needs to hear this person, a director needs to talk directly to the talent, to an earwig. This small little 2.5 pound mixer recorder and their new professional lineup gives you the routing possibilities through bus submixes to do these specialty routing, because in the 6 series recorder it was fixed to a hardware output of pre or post fade. So on the 833 you also have the 4 auxiliary outputs. 1 and 2 are balanced outputs, and then 3 and 4 are an unbalanced output, which you can simply just use a Y cable. I have one on my production sound cart for my 5 and 6, 5 and 6 on my 688. So by using these bus mixes, you can also route the Dan Dugan left or right group, because you got to think of Dugan auto mixing on these recorders as 2 separate auto mixers, because left is one auto mix, right is the other auto mix. So by taking a bus and creating a group or submix, you can then assign that bus to the left or right output and then have group Dugan mixing. So if you needed to send a submix of, say, 5 actors going to one particular Video Village or Video Assist or something like that, it can auto mix that simultaneously while you do a manual mix on another mode. Dugan auto mix is not something I use a lot on narrative film sets right now, because there's still some things I'm kind of working out on how I would use it. But with this expanding track count and what we're finding, especially in television, it's going to change everything. Because the truth is that a lot of the dialogue pre-edits are being done in the Avid, meaning audio post isn't jumping on board until episode 7, 8, 9, 10. And then what they're doing is they're using the production sound mix for the dailies. It's going to all the producers, directors, networks, everyone involved. So the expectation is no longer just we just want to mix what's on camera. I never mix like that. I always make sure, you know, that the mix is finished and sounds as polished as possible right out of the gate. So off-camera dialogue is in the mix. Whatever, without compromising what we're seeing on camera. And those requests are coming through as more standardized workflows these days. So Dugan Auto Mixes fixes all that. And the fact that you have this new group mixing architecture is crazy. The show I'm doing right now has a ton of music playback, live music, and specialty routing features where I have a music playback on set and myself. So the workflows, I could literally use a mixer recorder like this little baby, and accomplish some of the more complex workflows that takes a 688 to do, and give, you know, some of those expanded workflows. So I'm just going to check in with you guys and say thanks for tuning in to the live stream. By the way, this channel is dedicated to the craft of production, sound mixing, location recording. This channel is for professionals, guys. That doesn't mean you need to be, there's any qualifications, but understand that this mixer recorder is for the pro lineup. That's what we're talking about, pro workflows, and I appreciate you tuning in. So I'm going to go over to you guys for a second and talk a little bit. I'm guessing people are going to start selling off their 633s and buying these, says Aaron. I think so. I think the 633, without a doubt, will live a very, very long time. Will outlast probably some of the 664, especially just because of some of the recording capabilities of Dugan Auto Mix and some of the unique features of it. And I think they're going to hold their value. But yeah, guys will definitely sell their 633s to buy this because of the expanded feature set. I absolutely agree. Yeah, would you say this is a 633 killer, better preamps? Tom, I don't know if you saw my video comparing the Scorpio and the 688, but the general consensus is people really can't tell. Scott and I could tell when we were listening to it, but you know, we're in the studio here, we got headphones, we're concentrating. I think at the end of the day, the 6 Series recorders deliver just as good of a sound as the Scorpio and this A33, and I don't think people will buy this for just the preamps. And in fact, I think the lowest noise preamps or best preamps we ever made, or you don't have to adjust the trim and everything's perfect, is very much prosumer marketing. The truth is, in production sound workflows and professional workflows, routing capability and complex workflows is what really is necessary to, you know, succeed. So you guys can, I'm sure people are going to drill me for that, but it's the truth, and that's what this channel is about. Pretty obvious SD designed the Scorpio and A33 at the same time. This plus the MixPre 2 line. What are they eating over SD? I want some of that diet. Rowland, I understand these guys are coming in full force, straight ahead, and you know, when I saw the Scorpio, and I was really excited about it, and I think they have a great product, but I think there's this undertone from pros of it's half-baked, meaning they want to see the sound devices, professional mixer recorder with the 12 or 16 faders, or however they design it. They don't want to use the prosumer studio stuff mixers. So I think there was a lot of this kind of undercurrent of just like, hey, when are you guys going to do this? You going to do this? I was one of them. I'm texting, emailing. I'm sure Sound Devices probably had enough of me, you know, trying to get them to do certain things with the recorders that I want to use on set because I love the brand and I'm committed to it, and there's certain features that professionals use. But now that they've launched this A33, to me, this is a clear message. This is a clear message to the professional community that they are 100% committed, and the design of this product is very unique because what it really expands upon is track count, limiter, meets complex routing functionality. So for a backdrop in a car, Dugan Auto Mix is a must because you got to have a production sound mix. You can't just backdrop and just do ISOs these days and really give the kind of thing to post that has the expectation of excellence, in my opinion. So if you are able to combine those things with those track inputs, you were really on a good thing. What's your professional opinion of the differences between the MixPre 2 and 833, and why would you use one or the other? Aaron, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. I want to say right off of the bat, both of these products hit two very different markets and are not really ones that you would compare. meaning that you're not going to go, well, the MixPre 2 sounds like this and completely different. The MixPre 2 especially is an amazing product. And I think my favorite thing about that particular recorder is the fact that it included timecode workflows on the 3, 6, and 10T. And it also has this patented triple stage, and I believe it's triple stage. It's multiple stage AD 32-bit converters. So what that means is that you are unlimited pretty much from a dynamic range stage for input, only limited to the dynamic range of your microphone and or noise floor. So these Cashmere preamps and the combination of these 32-bit float file format and this triple converter design is perfect for sound designers. In fact, I don't imagine any sound advisor designer is going to buy the 833, because the MixPre 2 series is a smaller form factor. This is going to fit in tighter spaces. You can carry it around with you out in the field. You can go and it doesn't have all this weight, and you don't need all of that I/O capability to do that sort of thing. Same thing with musicians. No need for this. This is for production sound mixers. Now, I think the MixPre 2 in the production sound market hits a very particular niche. Two things. One, the beginner. I don't have enough money to buy the pro level recorder, but I do need the features of the time code on set because I'm starting my career and I'm working with professionals, and I need the great sounding preamps, and the MixPre 2 series fits this niche. However, in a pro lineup like the 833 Scorpio 6 series recorders, it is about having I/O flexibility, meaning that the output flexibility, especially on these MixPre 2 series, or the routing flexibilities, is very limited. Meaning that you're not going to be able to pull off some of the professional type workflow stuff on those recorders, which is not to take away from that at all, but I think this clearly divides the line. This says professional, prosumer. And I think the MixPre 2 is going to sell incredibly well. And it's going to be a very good product for sound devices. And I might even buy one just to have for small whatever purposes. But the 833, the small form factor, is going to kill it. And I'm excited about it, of course, but I think without a doubt it's going to absolutely knock things out of the park. So let's look at some of the unit and go into some of the front, back, side panels, because I saw some things on here that I think are worth talking about that could mean some future products. So let's go right over to this here, and let's go to this. All right, here we go. So let's look at some of the images here of this. So here's the front panel image. You've got the LED rings, which is very nice. I was working in the dark last night, and I have to have my light on my cart to see where the trims are on the 688. As far as gain staging, it's difficult for me to adjust it because I can't see it. And these rings, like they did in the 7 series recorders, solves that. And notice here that you've got also a trim and the fader for all 6 channels here. And then the rings obviously illuminate for the limiter, and then they have the Dugan mode where they go purple, I believe. And then you also have the 3 toggle switches in the front. And pretty straightforward on that. So on the input side, and this is not the only inputs in the mixer recorder, we've got our 6, 3 XLR, 3 TA3, or mini XLR for all 6 mic line phantom power plus limiter inputs. The COM return. Oh, what a saving grace for us, guys. Finally, we can do communication on the small mixer recorder, which is absolutely critical for professional workflow. So you put your boom, your crew, all through this COM return input. You could easily use a mult like I do on my 688 and have up to 3. You could use a mixer and submix as many comms as you want to go into the system. And then the headphone, 3.5 millimeter output and TA5 headset, which gives you obviously headphone out plus the slate mic in. Probably my most favorite thing on that is, excuse me, probably my most favorite feature so far on this A33 is that they've integrated the COM return and also slate mic. Great job on that, Sound Devices. Okay, on the other side of the recorder, as you can see here, we have, and I'm going to make sure you guys are seeing it. Yes, you are. You have this antenna, which is really nice. I think this is future use, probably with their remote app for remote rolling at greater distances. I'm speculating here. You have your time code and also longitudinal time code, often confused as linear or LTC. It's actually longitudinal. And what it is it allows you to do word clock plus time code. And it depends, you can change the pin configuration inside of the menu as well, depending upon the type of cable that you're using. Here we have a 1/4 inch headphone out, plus a, for 3 headphone outs, which is crazy, right guys? Then you have auxiliary 3 and 4, which is an unbalanced 3.5 millimeter connector, and then auxiliaries 1 and 2 here on TA3 balanced outputs. And then your return. So this is important, and something I want to clarify is that it says 8 channels. These are your other 2 channels here on the return. And then you have your left and right out, or your AES 1 and 2 out, your 2 USB ports, and also your TA4 power. You have your Sony L mount in the back, which also can be charged. And then, now I think it's hard to see here, but I'm going to actually use the arrow and circle around it. You guys see this little panel here? I wonder what that's for. So I was hoping to see it here in the center. And let me go back to the stream here. I was hoping to see, when I first started looking at the images of the A33, I was looking for that center panel that you see on the Scorpio and 688 that allows you to put the SL6. Because to me, the SL4 is a no-brainer, and I hope that's what that latch is for. Because if they can do slot mount on this particular mixer recorder, that would be phenomenal. And I hope we see it. Sound Devices, if you're listening, please do this. They're probably already on it and are going to do it. All right, so on the rear, it looks like you have these 3/8 little female receivers here for mounting on a cart. So you don't have to worry about it going anywhere, especially if you have a modular design that is not like typical where you need to just balance it on a tray and you don't want it to go anywhere. I don't know what this is. I'm sure it's something useful, but I can't see it really. And then some more pictures, just the top, bottom, etc. So I'm going to go back to you guys. I'm trying to think what else is worth saying about this unit. Oh, here we are. I think I was showing you all that while the screen was here. I apologize for that. $39.99, I believe, is the price. Ships Monday, I think, or Friday. I don't know. Let's look on the website here actually and see when this thing ships. There we go. 2 and go here, and then let's get out of this. Okay, products 8633. 833, not 633. Discover the 833. Okay. I believe it ships Monday. They're showcasing this at IBC along with Scorpio and MixPre 2. So what else can we say about this, guys? What else can we say about this recorder? I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions, thoughts. I'm digesting this thing. I'm trying to think, how does this work in my current system? I've got a 688. I've got a surprise coming that I'll be launching on this channel, and something I'm integrating into my cart that I'll be talking about a lot. I've got the 633 and 688 work in tandem very well. And that's what I'm using on my current show. I'm very happy with it. Man, it's fast. It is so fast, so flexible, so fluid, and sounds great. So when I think about these new recorder mixer lineup with the Scorpio and the 833, I really have to think through, how is this a benefit? So if you're a 633 user, you might be thinking, I'm going to buy this thing because it's the latest, greatest, and I love it, and it's powerful. Sound Devices does have a FAQ on the website that you can see. It says, I'm a 633. Why would I buy the 833? That talks about some of the differences that we already talked about in this video. And so I'm going to come down here and back to you guys and say hello. Here we are. And by the way, thanks for tuning into the live stream. I'm sure you guys are probably just as excited as I am about this 833. I'm currently working overnights. Believe it or not, my call time today is 7:30 p.m. And wow, right? Need an ambulance. But it's just, we're starting on nights, and that's what we're doing. And the cool thing is I'm going to be able to see my family when they come home and spend some time before I go to work. So I am excited and grateful for that. But anyway, back on topic. Thanks for being here, everyone. Okay, so Rowland Man has helped me out with some of the text of this. Thank you. Wouldn't you have think? Yes, Rowland. This is something important that he says that we should address. With all the power in the Scorpio and the 833 and the FPGA and DSP processors, wouldn't you think they would have put the new massive dynamic range 32-bit float point system in there? Rowland Man, I would think the same. I would think, what would it hurt? There could be some technical drawbacks that maybe their engineering team decided to not do that for a specific reason. Or maybe with this preamp design and the sound of the machine and the way it works, there could be some limitations, once again, from an engineering standpoint. I don't have that answer. My opinion is, of course, yeah, I'd love to see the triple stage AD design in this. I mean, what could it hurt? Do I think we need it? No. No way. Here's why. The truth is that professional audio is about proper signal flow, gain stage management, getting backgrounds quiet, understanding the art and craft of capturing professional audio on set. 32-bit float with unlimited dynamic range, set your trims wherever you want. It doesn't matter. Your fidelity is great, is excellent for videographers who don't have time or don't understand how to operate audio. Sound designers who really need that. So I think that's, going from a whisper to an explosion. So if I was going to go do sound design, I wouldn't want this machine. This 833, I wouldn't use it. I'd get a MixPre 2. So I think what this does is this divides and gives more clarity to their product range. And this 32-bit float triple AD converter design is really, I think, groundbreaking and stunning. But let's face it, it's in the Zoom and it's in the MixPre 2. There's something about this. I don't see any benefit. If I had it right now, I'd be like, oh, I could do these things on a film set because I have this, because I don't need it. It's just not something that's going to help me get better audio for my projects, for production, sound mixing, and recording. GPIO means hardware controlled lines like the 788T, I think, can be used for remote record and a switch, etc. Excellent. Thank you, Rowland Man, for clarifying that. That's excellent. Fingers crossed for an SL4. Tim, me and you, bro, we are together 100% on that. Definitely want that SL4. And did you see that little panel on the top? It looks like a little triangle thing. I don't like where it's located because it's suspicious. To me, it seems like it needs to be in the center. And did we see if there's any mounting screws or anything on the top? I think there is, where, all we can do is speculate. As we know, SD has tight lips. They do not talk about stuff, but it sure is fun to speculate and poke at them and ask them for the things that we need. Because, yeah, why cable? Why? Definitely want the SL4. Go SL4. I'm going to change the thumbnail of this. Please launch an SL4. Isn't it funny, though, as production professionals, these companies, they bend over backwards and they design these amazing products for us and this cutting edge technology, and they put all their heart and soul to it, only for us to say, but you didn't do this and you couldn't. We're like spoiled children on a Christmas morning who didn't get the proper stuff that we wanted. Truth is that I'm beyond excited. Sound Devices, I know, is going to develop this. And, I'm on set and I'm working on the show right now, and I can't imagine not having my 688. The damn thing is so robust. It sounds so good. It's so fast. It's just killer. And every product I've ever bought from them has been that. I typically wait. I'll watch them launch something and I'll go to the forums and I'll listen to everyone go, oh God, this isn't working, because they bring out this new technology and they go to their set not testing it and then scream, oh, my files aren't there and I can't. Guys, if you're a professional, and I know a lot of you are on this channel, you don't go out with new untested gear on version 1 firmware to your client to deliver audio. That's your fault, not Sound Devices' fault. You wait. You watch it resonate. You see the feedback. You figure out. Now, if you have the money and you want to buy it and you just want to have it as a backup recorder, you would. Like if I had a Scorpio right now, there's no way I would use it. It's not ready. I'd put it as a backup recorder to my 688, which is kind of funny if you think about it. And that's not to take away from it, because it's amazing. What it is it's just experience. And experience shows that things have to be tested. They have to work. And you don't just go out with brand new untested gear and trust your career with it, The message is held for review. Oh, let's show. Okay. Okay. Fingers SL4. Nova has been in pre-orders for a while now. Oh, we're talking about Nova. Yes. Zascom's new recorder mixer that has integrated wireless. Listen, I'm going to say my Zascom, I don't use Zascom recorders, wireless, and that's not because they're not amazing. Because I've filled in for guys and I've sat at cars who use those recorders sound unbelievable. So let me just put it right out there. And so I'm sure when they do launch it, it's going to be incredible. And a lot of my friends and people and professionals how to use that stuff, and I've got nothing but great things to say about it. I just don't have experience with it, so I'm not a very good source to talk about those products. All right. I hear Nova in October. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Especially, I think the integrated wireless is pretty huge with that announcement with Nova. If I'm not mistaken, you can buy it with integrated wireless. All right, but more on topic here. What fader panels are available for the linear fader control of MCU? Great question, Heartmania. Let's go over to the website and check it out. Let's see here and see what panels, because I believe it's everything. Let me make sure you guys are seeing it. Yes, you are. You like that infinity and beyond thing. Let's go to the FAQ here. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can figure out what panels. I know the Icon M Plus. There's also like a Behringer controller of some sort. The X controller or something. Oh, here it is. Right here, bud. Ah, no. Okay, let's go back here. We had it, and then my browser skills failed us. Let's go to the controllers. There it is. The Icon Platform M Plus with D2 display, which you see quite often on the Scorpio. The Icon Platform X Plus, the B Plus, the Behringer X Touch, the Mackie MCU Pro. So let's go back here. One of the things that you hear about Scorpio is like, guys, we need a fader panel that's not 8 faders. Like, you can't mix a narrative show with 8 faders, and you're not going to bank. It's not happening. it's not reality. That's why with the PNG on the CN12, even if I got to reach up in the trims, is an unbelievable mixer, because you can accomplish incredible mixes with it, and it feels right. If you got 8 faders, and then when I was messing with the Icon M Plus, I kept hitting the buttons in between too, and I'm thinking, I can't use this thing, man. I mean, but here's what I say positive about it. This is only 6 inputs, well, 8 inputs. And you actually have your controller trims for your 7 and 8, which I saw in the literature. So you don't have to bank for your mixer faders and trims. But here's what's really cool. The bus submixing architecture on the Icon M Plus, when you start banking through it, it basically allows you to mix your submix groups on those 8 fader channels. So you can do submixes and mix it and then go back and then route it to where you need to go. It's a different way of thinking that is not typical in production sound workflows, because I think typically low track counts, straightforward, it's not as complex as, say, live mixing as far as workflow is concerned, is what I mean by that, routing. And it's not as complex as routing scenarios in professional studio environments where you might have several Q mixes, independent Q mixes, stuff like that, to musicians and or a setter, or even ADR and looping has very incredible routing, not incredible, but complex routing workflows for communication over ISDN platforms, including voice over IP platforms such as Source Connect. Routing is a big thing, is the point that I'm getting at. And this bus routing architecture and the way that this particular unit works is going to open up new workflows. And back to the controller conversation, I know I went on a tangent on that, but I want to be really clear about my thoughts and what it is that I think about it. All right, so moving right along here, let's go back to you guys. So I think I've kind of said what I'm going to say to start out here. I want to say thank you everyone for joining the live stream and hearing some initial thoughts. This is just more of a hangout, talking about some of the technical aspects I see, giving my honest opinion, because that's what this channel is about. YouTube is a very interesting platform, guys, and there's not a lot of professional audio on YouTube. However, it is growing, and a lot of you subscribe to some of the same channels and support this channel. I want to say thank you for supporting this channel, because the reason why I do this is because I love production audio. I've been blessed to work as a sound mixer and work on projects that I'm passionate about. And I've also been blessed to have guys and gals ahead of me who have way more experience than I do, who have taken me under their wings to teach me and show me how this craft of production sound mixing works and how it's evolved and how to be on set. And the truth is as things have changed and evolved, so much is happening online now. And a lot of the forums and so forth are hostile environments. And it's ridiculous. I look back and I go, this is ridiculous. A guy's going after someone else because they have a question about something is absolutely unacceptable. Because the professional audio community is, in my opinion, filled with decor, a proper decor helpfulness, and also giving back to others. And if you want to grow your career, that's how you do it. You give back and you stay open. I don't have any secrets as far as my knowledge and workflow, because people before me were open with me and shared with me those workflows. So that's what the channel is about. And it's about having fun. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. If not, just keep watching, whatever. I don't really care, because that's what this is about. And also, YouTube is an amazing platform. A lot of the professional sound stuff, and this is not to take away from any manufacturer's channels, are driven by selling products. I get really excited about something and it probably sounds like I'm trying to sell you a product, and that's okay if that's how it comes off. But it's just my personal and professional excitement. And then I feel like an open platform that's not driven by a particular product or sales or some sort of thing gives you guys more of a honest opinion platform, because I can give my opinion. I can tell you what I like. I can tell you what I don't like, and I'm not going to hold back. And that's what this channel is about, because it's my channel. And it's our channel as a community, and I intend to grow it. And that's my spiel for what this channel is, because it's an evolving thing, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So I'm going to go back to you guys, see if we have any more questions, comments, any comments you want me to put out here to the group that we can talk about or discuss openly on your thoughts of the Sound Devices 833. Sound Devices, if you're watching, I want to say thank you for launching this product, and I mean that from right here. You know, you guys have been huge for me as far as my career. I've used your products throughout production sound mixing, and it's just scary to see you guys go to this prosumer world, and we're like, no, you know, it's like you're losing a girlfriend or something. But thank you for your commitment to the professional line, and you stay committed to us. We stay committed to you. We buy those products, and you guys can stay and will be, you know, considered a flagship leader in production, sound mixing, and recording, which will ultimately sell more of the MixPre 2s. So going back here to questions. So it seems like there's 3 pairs of AES inputs. Do we know what wireless receivers are compatible with AES? Hub location sound, great question. I do know that the SRCs have a module that is an AES out that converts it to AES that you could plug in to go AES into the 833. The A10 is also AES out compatible. And it's funny that you say 3 pairs, because I only saw 2 pairs of AES inputs. Actually, I saw 1 AES input on channel 1 for a total of 2 channels. And then there are 2 AES outputs, unless I'm missing something, which could be highly likely. Like I said, I just started looking at this and so forth. So anyway, I think, guys, I'm going to sign off. And I want to say thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments about this recorder mixer, giving your input so you can put it out there. And happy mixing, recording, all that. I hope you guys are all staying busy and well. And I will look forward to seeing you guys soon. And that's enough out of me. I got to get ready to go to work. And let me see here. Stop streaming. There we go. All right.